And that is correct. What's the market out there? Welcome in. Orange and Blue today, presented by Champ Honda. Cecil Lammy flying solo. You know how Wednesdays go. So let me give you a little countdown here, and we will begin the show. The big show now with less Russell Wilson. No, actually, gonna have to be Russ. There is no market for Russell Wilson. So trade deadline can't get here soon enough, because then we could truly find out what these Denver Broncos are going to look like as they get past their bye week and down the stretch in the 2023 NFL season. That's right, Orange and Blue today, OBT, as we call it, is a BFD, and we appreciate you for jumping on board here every day, 3:30-ish Mountain Time. And we got to talk some Broncos today. Reports coming out, Colin Cowherd saying, well, guess what? Russell Wilson, there's no trade market. And also saying the sky is blue. So, yeah, I don't need an anonymous GM because I have eyeballs, okay? And there's nothing that draws my ire more than anonymous GM. So put your name on it, man. Come on, who are you talking to? Colin Cowherd? Is it George Payton? Yeah, maybe. Although George likes Tom Pelissero more, but we'll see. But, like, I don't need any reports to say Russell Wilson doesn't have a trade market. Why is this a thing, right? Is it because Kirk Cousins isn't going to lift his trade, his trade deadline or his own sort of trade clause in his contract? Is that why people are just trying to find a way to get some sort of quarterback conversation in the news? I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, as I adjust things here. Kind of doing this on the fly. So we appreciate you for jumping on board. And here's the thing, like, we don't need that. There's no market for Russell Wilson. Why would there be? And I've said this multiple times on the air today. I'll reiterate it for everyone here on OBT, YouTube, Facebook. What's up? I feel bad for Russell Wilson because Russ is trying, and it's the measure of a man when you have two men that aren't getting along work-wise. I think personality-wise, they're fine. There's no sort of like toxicity behind the scenes between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. But all I know is from what I see on the film. And I see a quarterback that doesn't fit what the coach wants to do. And I see a coach that is no longer trying to help his quarterback. I see a quarterback who's trying and failing. But I see a quarterback who at least is like, what do you want me to do, coach? And then you have a coach who's like, you can't do what I want anyway, so forget you. Right? Is he going CeeLo on you? Maybe Sean Payton is. And Sean Payton, you got to calm down, buddy. You got to calm down in terms of like going after Troy Rank. Like, what are you doing? Troy Rank's like the nicest guy on the planet. Well, that was me. That was me. That was my Broncos. No, you inherited it, dude, when you showed up here. Yeah, that's right. I called Sean Payton a dude. Like, you inherited that garbage schedule, that garbage record when you came here. And it's up to you to turn it around. And I believe in Sean Payton, although I feel more foolish every time I say that, so maybe I should just stop saying that, right? Like, who out there, chat room, react to me, who out there trusts Sean Payton to turn this thing around? Do you really think Sean Payton's going to do that? He's bailed on his quarterback, and it's week 8. We haven't even got through half of these flipping games. We haven't even got to the Broncos bye week, and it is 1,000% clear that Sean Payton has bailed on his quarterback. He's bailed on that plan. You can play better football with Russell Wilson. You just have to change what you want to do, because Russ can't do what you want him to do. All right? And if that's people saying that's a shot at Russ, like, whatever. I'm actually defending Russell Wilson when I say this, because too many people watch this season and they say Russell Wilson sucks. Well, Russell Wilson sucks here because Sean Payton won't let him do anything. And when he has, because Sean Payton has schemed receivers open. I've told you guys that dating even back to training camp. I'm seeing a lot of receivers that are open. And I'm seeing a lot of times Russell Wilson can't hit them. He can't see them because he's too short, can't see over the line. So you're scheming guys open. They are open. The timing is there and the timing's off. Timing is everything. In football and in life, timing is everything. So the timing isn't there with Russell Wilson, and Sean Payton has done this and given up. It's not my guy. It's not my offense. It's not my offense. It's literally is not Sean Payton's offense. It is not. And anyone that tells you otherwise is likely paid by the team to do that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this whole God blessed thing because Russ has got training wheels on him that he doesn't need. If the coach would be a little more open to doing stuff that he doesn't necessarily want to do, but you want to win, right? Or do you not want to win? You want to just go get Caleb Williams and forget Russell Wilson? Like, what are you doing? This team is in ruins now. It's soiled the sanctity of the Denver Broncos. I think that was Private Parts, right? Am I quoting pig vomit there? Yeah, it feels like pig vomit, doesn't it? Feels like garbage. And you've got Sean Payton going after Troy Rank. Again, nicest guy ever. Like, what'd Troy ever do to you, man? Except ask you some good questions and like maybe he phrased it in a way that he shouldn't have. But I'm totally on Troy's side. And Sean Payton's acting like an aloha to us local media members, national media members. Hey, Jarrett Bell's in town. He'll tell him, what color underwear everybody wears. But local media, he treats like garbage. Like, dude, we're on your side. All right? And for all the crap garbage of like, you guys are so negative. No, we're not. The truth is not meant to always make you feel good. And the truth about your team is you got a Sean Payton problem. And Sean Payton's got to fix it. So again, to feel foolish now for the second time in a row, I believe in Sean Payton. But that belief is being tested. Because I see Russell Wilson trying, and it's not going to work with Russ and what Sean wants to do. Okay. Well, what can you do with Russ? You can do a lot more than this vanilla stuff. And I clean that up. The stuff. This offense is full of stuff. Sean Payton, when he talks about this offense, usually is full of stuff. And you're not seeing it work together. You're not seeing any give. You see a quarterback who's really trying, who's not that good with what he's asked to do. And he's not asked to do much anymore because his coach doesn't believe in him. And no one will say that. And everything's great. Has Russell Wilson done his list yet? I know, what time is it? 3:43, right? 3:43. Has Russell Wilson talked and went through his list? And I think Garrett Bowles is great. And I think Ben Powers is great. And I think Lloyd Cushenberry is great. It's all great, Russ. And we're not all against you. Now, it'd be nice if Russell Wilson could have done what Sean Payton did. But Sean Payton showed up, thought his quarterback might be able to do more, and he's not doing more. So rather than craft something his quarterback can do, you're seeing Sean Payton essentially take his ball and go home. That's what's happening. So I'm not saying Russell Wilson's the answer and you totally need to cave in. Like, no, we saw that last year where Nathaniel Hackett was just weird with Russ, just weird in general. And like Sean Payton's taking the opposite. Like, well, I'm not running what you can do. And if you can't run what I'm going to do, then you just can't. We're going to give you some vanilla stuff. I mean, this offense is so basic. Greg Roman thinks this offense needs an injection of creativity. And Greg Roman's Baltimore offense was as stale can be. This Broncos offense is completely predictable. Completely predictable. Jaleel McLaughlin's in the game. Guess what? He's going to get the ball. We know that. Like, hey, and Sean, like, you should know this. But for whatever reason, we just continue to see the same thing. They don't run enough. I talked to Mike McGlinchey today. I said, hey, how does it feel to get Javonte or Jaleel their first 100-yard game? He's like, it'd feel great in the offensive line. This is what we do, but we got to sustain drives. Okay, I get that. But you also have a play caller that doesn't do what you do best. What you do best is run the ball. And you have a play caller that's like, let's force Russ to do something he can't do. And when he can't do it, then get mad. Like, why you get mad? Why are you mad, bro? Why are you mad about Russell Wilson not being able to run your offense when it's week 8 and you should have already crafted something else? What's next? Next. What's next in your quiver of arrows, right? I don't know why I'm thinking about Hawkeye, but like, what's next? That didn't work. What else you got? What else you got to sound like Hollywood in a pitch meeting, right? That's great. What else you got? Like, would anyone buy this movie? Would anyone watch this movie? It's awful. I want to turn it off. I want to change the channel. Change the record, to quote Step Brothers. Like, yeah, because it's not working. And Sean Payton, rather than being open to crafting something different. He's just like, nah, run basic stuff and whatever. We'll win, we'll lose, whatever. It's very alarming. Very alarming. Victory Lap says wide receivers are not always open. Yes, because of what Sean Payton's calling now. Okay? Because I've heard people, well, the receivers aren't getting open. Watch the coach's tape, not just and I don't want to be that guy like it's on the tape, but like you see receivers that are open and Russ doesn't see them. Okay? So I'm on Russ's side. I'm a little bit on Sean's side, but I think Sean could tone it down a little bit. You're not the smartest guy in the room. I think Sean could tone it down and like help out his quarterback because he schemes him open and then Russ doesn't see him or gets batted at the line of scrimmage. Like it's so God blessed frustrating that Russell Wilson like can't run this offense, but you don't get discouraged and go away from like whatever Russ can do. And that's what Sean Payton exactly has done. Like that's what's happening. Nate saying, SP saying, come at me, bro. Yeah. Here is a positive note from Victory Lap. Javonte is almost back to himself. And that's the thing. Javonte should be the centerpiece of your offense. And if he gets 100 games against the Chiefs, I will be surprised. I hope it happens. Your best recipe for success, sustained success, is Javonte Williams. Like, yeah, like everyone knows that. Yet, why don't we see it? What is Sean Payton doing? So the no market for Russell Wilson stuff, like, yeah, no kidding. Really wish I could cuss because I'm mad about this team. I'm mad that national reporters coming out. Hey guys, there's no market for Russ. Hey, water's wet. Like, yeah, sure. Awesome, Colin Cowherd. Go name another anonymous GM. Most of the people around this league think Sean Payton's in over his head. Bare bones honest with you. I hope he turns it around. And Russell Wilson will not be part of that. So what do? There's no market for us. You already handed him this contract that you didn't need to, by the way. But Georgie Porgy Payton had to get the deal done with Russell Wilson when there was no pressure from his camp to make a deal happen. And they made the deal happen. And like, you're stuck. You're absolutely stuck unless you're paying him to go away, basically. Hey, we'll pay half of his salary so that you can trade for him. Like, that's it. And Russell goes somewhere else. And Russell probably starts somewhere else. And if it's a coach that likes him, the problem with Russ is he doesn't have any allies in the coaching circles because unfortunately the NFL is the good old boy network when it comes to coaching. Hey, it's the ultimate. Like, no, it's not. It's a lot of people of like, I worked here and when I go here, you're going to come with me. Who's coming with me? That type of thing. And if you look back on Russell Wilson's OCs, and obviously his head coach is still Pete Carroll, who's there in Seattle still, like there's no one that's somewhere new that could potentially stand up for him and say, let's bring Russ in. Let's try it out. Let's see what he can do. He's got no allies. And so someone will pick him up and he'll start. And if you're open to playing the way Russ plays, which is within chaos, then he can make some plays. But right now, Sean Payton is not creating a market for us. So you can feature Cortland Sutton against the Packers, which is what they were doing. But you can't make Russ look better. Like you can. Russ isn't this bad. He's bad, no doubt. But he's not this bad. You have to do some things outside of structure that you don't want to do. And there are things that you want him to do, basically get rid of the ball on time, that he just can't do. He can't do it. Sound like Mike Singletary. Can't do it. He can't do it. Okay? So rather than beat around the bush and like, is it Sean's fault or is this Russ's fault? It's both. Both of these men are at fault. But you've got one guy that wants to try to make it work, and you've got one guy who's already checked out on the other. So this is the mess you have. No market for Russell Wilson. Is there a market for any of these Broncos players? I mentioned Cortland Sutton getting featured. Is anyone going to... And God bless you all, okay? Every single one of you. It's tough. It's rough. And I don't want to be the guy that comes on There was somebody in the was it the chat room or was it one of the comments on YouTube that was like, I was watching the post game show with my son and said, even when they win, this guy's mad. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be angry. This sucks. Okay? This absolutely is garbage, dog trash, awful football. And I feel bad for you guys because you're my family and I want my family to be happy. I want the Broncos to be great. You know how much fun this job is when the Broncos are great? And no one cry for me. I was a construction worker. I worked in a machine shop. I almost lost this finger and this thumb. Got big old scars to prove it. Got another scar up here. But it's like, I know real physical work. Talking about football isn't real physical work, but it is exhausting when this team is that bad and Russ is going to get thrown under the bus. George Payton's going to get thrown under the bus. Vance Joseph doesn't deserve his job. So there's another scapegoat. So Sean Payton's got all these people he can blame when he needs to look at himself. You could have made it work differently with Russell Wilson, but you refuse to. There's no other way to say it. So what does that mean? What does that tell you? I think it says a lot. And it doesn't say a lot of great things about Sean Payton. But he's here. He's the guy. Unless he up and quits, which I don't believe he will. You got to make it work. And Sean Payton didn't forget how to coach. Sean Payton is a good coach. Russell Wilson's a good, not great quarterback. He's good, not great. Sean Payton can be great. Sean Payton can be a great coach. Sean Payton can be innovative. He can be creative. He's not doing any of that because he doesn't appreciate the fact his quarterback can't run what he wants him to run. I don't want to say, because the short answer is like Sean Payton doesn't like Russell Wilson. I don't want to say that because personally, like, how would you not like Russell Wilson? Russell's like the nicest guy ever. Oh my God, he's cheesy. Like, whatever. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not Ben Roethlisberger. Do I need to go further? Like, Russell Wilson's a good guy. So I don't want to say Sean Payton doesn't like Russell Wilson, but it's clear to me in studying film that Sean Payton doesn't believe or trust Russell Wilson. That's the best way to put it. And if you don't have trust in a relationship, what do you have? I'll tell you what you have. Garbage. So like this whole new report, and again, part of me, I'm really on, not necessarily on edge, but I'm real fired up today because the national narrative is about a month and a half behind, okay, of this whole thing. It's not working. And it sucks because there's a way it could work, but it would involve Sean Payton doing things he doesn't want to do. And maybe that's the case, and it shouldn't work that way, right? You don't want a false positive. You don't want to craft something for Russ and you win 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 games, and then it's like false hope because you know it can never be better than that. Maybe it is better just to burn it all down, for lack of a better term. Maybe it is better. But man, in the moment, this sucks. And I'm sorry. I find myself apologizing to you all the time, and I'm sorry. I wish I didn't have to do that, but like, and it won't get better anytime soon. So get him out of here. You cut him. I don't know. What do you do with Russell Wilson? I don't know. I wouldn't mind, although Sean Payton would probably disagree with me. I wouldn't mind reworking Russ's deal and having him be a backup to a young quarterback. It would be a tough pill to swallow, especially when he'd still be making, millions upon millions, and you'd have to make his money into a signing bonus. So instead of a $50 million cap number, you'd have to have a $5 million cap number with $45 million in bonus. You don't have cash-strapped owners now, so you could do that. Still sucks. Sean will probably believe in Jarrett Stidham one more year as his backup and then go get a young guy, whatever, whoever it is. Okay, I've heard it all. But I've seen enough with this team. I've seen enough to know like this version isn't working. I don't really want to see him go get embarrassed against Kansas City. Oh, they barely lost. Like I don't even really want to see that. I'd like to see him win. I think that would be a real good story if the Broncos won against Kansas City, but I also have a firm grip on reality. Kind of. And the chances of beating them, them beating the Chiefs are slim to none. So to go Ricky Waters on you for who, for what? Like, why? What are we doing? What are we talking about? The whole Jerry Jeudy, the Chiefs thing, I don't know exactly where that came from. I know my man Zach By just asked me about it on the drive with Philip Lindsay. And he said, hey, the odds are in favor of Jerry Jeudy going to the Chiefs. What? McCole Hardman is back with the Chiefs. Kadarius Toney is there. Rashee Rice, Sky Moore. Like, they've got all these different options for one Pat Mahomes. How is Jerry Jeudy an upgrade? Seriously. How is he an upgrade, and how is he not toxic within that locker room? Oh, they're winners? You can take a Melvin Gordon on, and you just kind of bury him on the depth chart, and you never see him, and then, he's just there. Is that what hey, you can trade Jerry Jeudy? Like, how are you going to trade with your biggest rival? And it's not even a rival, but you know what I mean. How are you going to trade within division? That's something dumb like the Raiders would do. You're going to tell me you're going to trade Jerry Jeudy to the Chiefs? Not unless there's another team involved. Then maybe. But I don't know. And the Vegas odds, don't get me started on my Vegas rant, because the Vegas odds are there to put so you can put money. That's why they put the number and the odds where they do, because they want more people betting, because then more people will be losing. So if the odds-on favorite is Jerry Jeudy to the Chiefs, I just say, okay, whatever. It's October 25th. I didn't want Jerry Jeudy here after 2 games ago, after the last Chiefs game. You got through the Chiefs game on Thursday night. Why is he still here? Why is he still here? That was 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow, it'll be 2 weeks ago. You've had Jerry Jeudy on your roster for 2 extra weeks. Why? He's not good. He doesn't want to try unless he's the number 1 receiver, which I've seen some people say, you should have been making Jerry Jeudy the number 1 all along. Okay. But at the same time, if it's not working and you want more of a role, you should be more productive in the role and that you have, so that you have more ammunition, for lack of a better term, to go to your coaching staff and say, this is why I should be the number 1. I just had 100 yards and I'm the number 2 option. I just had 100 yards and you guys aren't even looking at me. You better get me the ball. Right now, he's just saying, get me the ball, and he's got nothing to go on. And again, I'm done with the Jerry Jeudy stuff. Okay. And the Steve Smith thing, and it's garbage. It's just nonsense. This whole God blessed season has been nothing but spinning your tires. Who wants to do that? Who wants to root for that? Who wants to watch that? Where you just spinning your tires. We still have Jerry Jeudy. Can't trade Jerry Jeudy because we want a 3rd round pick for him. You're not going to get that. I personally don't care if you just release him. Whatever, probably not going to do that. I'm coming to the realization that Jerry Jeudy might be here after the trade deadline. And I do not like that, because you're not playing Marvin Mims. Yeah, and again, this is where the Sean Payton stuff, it doesn't make sense. Every day, Marvin Mims is averaging like 20 yards a catch. Let's just not play him, guys. Why are you not playing your biggest playmaker? Do you really want to win when you're not playing your biggest playmaker? Just ask yourself that. And I don't think they're tanking or whatever. Maybe I do think that. I have no flipping idea. And that's what's most frustrating. Because usually you could watch ball and you could say, okay, they're doing this, that here, here's over here. I get what they're saying. Oh, this is what they're doing. All right, I got that. And this year it's like, what are they doing? The film doesn't make sense. The route combinations don't make sense. The personnel doesn't make sense. When Jaleel McLaughlin's on the field, he's getting the ball almost every time. You want to talk about the ultimate tell? And I chart plays just on down and distance and tendencies. Okay. And I do it for fantasy football projections. And I'm just some slappy on YouTube. Okay. Now imagine what a defensive coordinator is seeing. As I spit up all over the table. Like, imagine what a defensive coordinator is. Oh, wait. Hey, 38's out there. That's good. 38's getting the ball. Everybody already knows this. Again, where's the creativity? I was just in the locker room. Just came from over there. That's why the show's a little rushed. Sorry. Don't want to get too sweaty. But I'm running around. I'm on the air. I go out to Broncos. I come back. And almost to a man, everyone's talking about Kareem Jackson. And we're going to have some PJ Locke stuff for you at denversports.com. Make sure to stay tuned for that. I agree 100% with PJ Locke. It's frustrating when the league will tell you what not to do, but they won't coach you on, well, how could you do it differently? It's frustrating when Kareem Jackson is now seen by some as a dirty player when he's not. Kareem Jackson is just a man out of time. Wasn't that Tesla song? He's a man out of time because he is an old school player in a new school of football. And whether you like it or not, and most of you don't, most people are like me. I want to see the violence. And I guess that says a lot about humanity, but like we like the big hits. We like those, snot blockers, snot busters and all that. Like that's what you want to see. You got jacked up was a segment on ESPN before Will Smith. Will Smith ain't got a cuss on his raps to sell records. Well, I do. Like until Concussion, that movie came out, you got jacked up. NFL was selling biggest hits, DVD. I mean, guys you're literally watching carnage. I'll sound like Robert Downey Jr. from Natural Born Killers. The blood and carnage. Like you were watching carnage on a DVD that you paid for, and the NFL was making a bunch of money on hits that not even the Kareem Jackson. Like soft. That's just soft what Kareem Jackson did. And, Luke Musgrave, who I really like, hopefully kid's okay, plays forever, whatever. But Kareem Jackson is not dirty. The league is making him look like a dirty player. They're making him an example. And so I'm not saying it's a distraction. I'm just saying almost everyone to a man was talking about that in the locker room. And yes, reporters were asking. And yes, reporters should ask. But man, it just hurts when you lose a captain like Kareem Jackson because the league doesn't like him or doesn't like Sean Payton. And that's another thing. I don't think the Walmart, I just say Walmart, Walton Penner, everybody, Condoleezza, whatever, Walmart wasn't banking on the fact that Roger Goodell doesn't like Sean Payton. The NFL doesn't like Sean Payton. Other coaches around the league don't like Sean Payton. And now you're looking like a villain with the Kareem Jackson thing, which was a clean hit. It's a hit that can't and will not be allowed today. I'll say that. But my opinion on it hasn't changed. That's a clean hit that you can't make anymore. So again, like PJ Locke said, you can't hit with your shoulder. So you're just supposed to take everybody's knees out. Now you'll be a dirty player because everyone's a bunch of rash of ACL injuries. They're neutering the defense so they can score more points, everybody. Fantasy football, yay. And scoring is down this year because of the Fangio 6. Everyone's adopted. Look at watch any Dak Prescott play. You talk about someone who can't figure out zone. I have no idea. That's Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is garbage against zone defense. What's everyone doing now? They're zoning it up. Zone dog, Fangio 6, cloud, whatever you want to call it. That's all you're doing. You're playing in spaces and making your quarterbacks dink and dunk their way down the field. I don't know, man. It's the wrong week for that to happen, and missing Kareem Jackson for these next 2 games is going to suck. Even though Kareem Jackson can't get that pick like PJ Locke did. And I really like PJ Locke. Real good young man. Upstanding in terms of, talking to me, giving you the real answers. That's what you're looking for. I don't need to be best friends with people. I don't need to go bowling like I did with CJ Anderson, right? That was a different thing. Just tell the truth. Seek the truth and speak the truth. And I believe PJ Locke is that type of player. He's going to tell you what it is. He's going to tell you exactly like it is. And I respect that, man. And I really like his game on the field as well. So Kareem Jackson's on everybody's mind, and I'd have to say it seems like it's a bit distracting. Could totally be wrong. I feel like, Dumb and Dumber? Some people might say I'm both dumb and dumber. Totally redeem yourself, Broncos. Can you beat Kansas City? Andrew Mason will join me on Thursday. On Friday, I'll be solo. Mace might be joining us from a very special destination. Very nice. A very special destination. Don't want to spoil it. But Mace will be back with me on Thursday's show. And listen, Broncos, like, you've got a good head coach in Sean Payton. I don't like what he's doing to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's better than this, but it's not going to work here. Okay? Save face. Don't embarrass the guy. Whatever. Figure out a way to move on. Save some cap space. Maybe don't. I don't know. All I know is this is upsetting and depressing because it could be different. If Sean Payton was wired a little bit differently, it could be different. Now, maybe that would be false, and it'd be like Minnesota, right? And do you want to be like Minnesota? Look at Minnesota last year. They were 8-0 in one-score games, whatever the number is. You know, they're winning all these one-score games. They go to the playoffs to get waxed. But they went to the playoffs, and they were 13-4 or whatever the number was. Like, do you want to be that? I mean, I'd take that. I don't want to be greedy. But I would take that. I would take, hey, you win 13 games, you make the playoffs, you get waxed in the first round. Hey, yeah. Okay, sign me up. So maybe Sean Payton doesn't want that. But there's a version of this reality where the Broncos and Russell Wilson can make it work. And maybe it's a false positive in the end. And, oh, you win 10 games, but you're really not that good. Or it's really not going to get better with Russ. Maybe that's the case, and maybe Sean doesn't want anything to do with that. Again, third or fourth time saying it. I believe in Sean Payton. I don't know why, yo, but I do. Who do you believe in? Let us know in the comment section. If you've chatted in the chat room, I'm sorry when I'm solo, I can't get to as many chats as I'd like. So please comment below. I try to get back to the comments every other day or so because it's fun for the most part. YouTube comments usually can be unkind, so please take it easy. But I appreciate you. I know Mace appreciates you. We've built a great audience with Orange and Blue today, presented by Sean Honda. We want to continue building that audience because I like being positive about the Denver Broncos. There's not a lot to be positive about. So you want to listen to the fan version of like, hey, everything's fine, everybody. Like, we can't do that. I refuse to do that. But I also refuse to be the other way where it's like, everything sucks. This sucks. That's everything's bad. Like that's not analysis. All right. And I'm going to go off for a moment. One, because I can. And two, just because I feel like I have to. There's two garbage things out there in the media right now. Maybe a few more. I might get to them. The first one is the access game that we play in the media. Hey, listen, I don't get what other reporters and analysts get because I say some stuff that makes the Broncos mad. And saying this might actually make them even more mad. But I don't get the interview requests that maybe others do who are a little bit friendlier, and I'm fine with that. I would rather tell you the truth. But there's this access game now where the outlets that are really, really friendly with the Broncos or the Nuggets, or the Abs, or the Rockies, they get whatever they want because they know that outlet's not going to say anything bad about the team. Like nothing bad. No criticism whatsoever. It's a let's go Broncos. And there's a market for that. I don't fit within that. Mace doesn't fit within that because seek the truth and speak the truth. The truth of the matter is you have to say what's going on with the team. Be fair, be critical, but be fair and speak based off of your hopefully wisdom or knowledge or experience. The flip side of that, and this is what's bad about basically making a statement about society, everybody, because it's either like really, really like, hey, everybody, my side, or it's your side sucks, it's my side. And it's the super negative stuff that I can't stand either. Right? When I hear from people, and maybe not necessarily people in the media, because Denver media is mostly puppy dogs, I'll include myself. Like the Russell Wilson sucks. Like, you're not watching the film. If you say Russell Wilson sucks, you're not watching the film. If you say Russell Wilson can't run Sean Payton's offense, you're right. Because he can't. But if you say Russell Wilson sucks, you're not watching the film. If you say like Javonte sucks or whatever, you're not watching the film. If you say Alex Singleton, he's a tackling machine, it's like, okay, but when you watch the film, you see him overrun some plays. You see him miss tackles. Like, I'd rather talk about everything. And it seems like in football and even really in society that it's either like it's pro one side and the other side is completely wrong, or it's pro this side and the other side is completely wrong. And that's wrong-headed and it's dumb. 2 rules in life. Don't be dumb. Don't be in a cult. And it's a cult mentality to be like, my side is the right side and that other side is totally wrong on whatever we're talking about. And if you want me to go there, I will, because blanket, that's where I'm at. But this Broncos coverage, you've got to look to the positive, because there is some positive here. And that's the thing. And that's what's most disappointing. It's not like the Broncos don't have any players. It's not like they're a bunch of slappies running around like, man, that's a JV team out there. No, they've got some really good players. Some players that are disappointing, like a Zach Allen. He needs to be better. He needs to be better in the locker room as well. Zach, you know, could be a little nicer when we interview you. Sorry. But like this situation with this team, like it's frustrating because it could be better. I don't know about better long-term. Again, they could win 9-10 games if Sean Payton would change his ways. So, you know, does that 10 wins this year equal 13 wins next year? Does that wild card thing this year mean divisional winner next year? I'm not sure that would be the case. And if you want to avoid a false positive and you kind of want to tear this thing down because you're Sean Payton and you want everything your way, I'm fine with that as long as you have a plan. Because you have players from this year that can stick to be part of your future. You have some players you need to move on from. Jerry Jeudy's one of those players. Why is Jerry Jeudy here? He's not good. Doesn't necessarily want to be here. Not real great in the locker room. Not real great on the field. And he's mouthing off on social media. Like, why do you want him here? And that's the frustrating part. So I don't like the people who pussyfoot around and just like, everything's fine, everybody. Like, Russ is great. Broncos great. Let's go Broncos. Like, that's not coverage. That's not honest. And I also don't like the people that are like, this sucks. Everything sucks. Like, that's not the case either. You see some things that can work. You see things that don't work. Sound like Waterboy. Like, I see a lot of girls. I see a lot of guys too. Like, listen, there's stuff that could work with this team. I want to see it. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of it for you. Because you are loyal, you are dedicated, you're a smart fan base, and you've seen real good football for most of your life. This isn't real good football. Last 7 years have been garbage. Hopefully that changes. All right, sorry, brain dump over. Andrew Mason joins me tomorrow. We both appreciate you. I'll speak for Mace here too. Like, again, in building this audience and knowing that we are going to fight against the people that are like, you're so negative. Like, no, I'm not negative. I just try to seek the truth and speak the truth. And I'm really happy that most of you enjoy it. Some maybe not, but you'll be all right. I'll be all right. It's okay. But it's just that dedication to finding what's wrong and how to fix it. I think that's the best way to kind of wrap it up for today's program. So Andrew Mason joins me tomorrow. Friday, I'll do probably an AMA. See how much time I have. And we'll go over it, man. But yeah, there's no market for us. Newsflash. The odds-on favorite are the Chiefs getting Jeudy, which if I'm Kansas City, I'm like, why? I might actually reach out to a couple of buddies on that team and be like, what? Why? We don't want Jerry Jeudy there. He's not an upgrade over Sky Moore. Anyway, that's me. I'm Cecil Lammy. Appreciate you all. Until next time, be safe, be kind. Know that you're appreciated. Stay tuned, and would you please stay frosty.